And we are live. Good evening, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 447. Today is August 7th, and I am King. Of course, we are here to bridge the community and crypto on a daily basis at 3 p.m.-ish. Today's top stories, we'll be talking about Binance investigating their KYC leak, as they are calling FUD. China is saying the police are investigating EtherDelta over alleged exit scam. Judge has ruled Coinbase did not commit fraud in Bitcoin Cash lawsuit. Amazon working on building the blockchain. And last but not least, Canadian Bitcoin educator outwits scammers. In a very feel-good story. We'll look more into that. But first, save a couple quick shout-outs. What's going on, Will? What's up? P-Man Van, Crypto and Culture. What's going on? Hello. Real quick, of course, let's take a look at the price. Bitcoin's up 4.8% on the day at 11,900. Of course, we've been hovering around this 11.3 to 12.2 the last couple of days, so we'll see what happens there. Ethereum is up 0.25% at $224.77. Litecoin's down 1.35% on the day at $91. Ripple XRP is up 0.72% at 31 cents. And Bitcoin Cash, of course, which will be the talk of the day, is up 2% at $339. And I'm assuming that 2% pump, if it's not through a normal swing, is from this news story that we're going to cover here in a moment. But of course, today's top story, which I'm sure many people have seen, it's been on Twitter, on many media channels, but Binance is investigating your KYC, Know Your Customer leak, as FUD, as user selfies allegedly exposed them. In a tweet, August 7th, Changpeng Zhao, CZ known, of course, described rumors circulating about the alleged Know Your Customer data leak as an attempt to spread FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. He is quoted as putting out, "Don't fall into the KYC leak FUD. We are investigating and will update shortly." For those who don't know, it looked like thousands of fake documents which showed to be users' identity, literally identification on posted documents, leaked on a Telegram channel. That Telegram channel, since it's open, I think it had about 8,500 people join. I haven't checked as of late. But of course, on social media, people panic thinking that their data is out there. CZ from Binance is saying it's FUD right now, though some people are saying it looks pretty real. But the official statement Binance put out was that we would like to inform you that an unidentified individual has threatened and harassed us, demanding 300 Bitcoin in exchange for withholding 10,000 photos that bear similarity to Binance KYC data. Again, that's Know Your Customer data. We are still investigating this case for legitimacy and relevancy. So this is actually a big data leak if this is true. You got a guy demanding 300 Bitcoin. The price today is what, almost $12,000. So you can do the math there. They're demanding a good sum of money. The exchange adds that its initial review of the leaked images show they're all from February of 2018, when Binance contracted a third-party vendor for Know Your Customer verification in order to handle the high volume of requests at that time. And they're saying, of course, that currently they're investigating that third party. So this is the Telegram group we talked about, a dedicated Telegram group featuring the documents. Currently has more than 8,300 members, growing by the thousands in a matter of minutes. Material posted to the group lacks the digital watermark Binance uses for its internal information, adding doubts about its authenticity. And again, they're saying that CZ is adding, when it comes to hackers, what we should do as an industry is fight them, stay on the positive side, report the group, then leave. So good stuff. The glaring issue here, whether this is true or not, is that it might not even be Binance's fault, which is the worst thing. I mean, you get your pressure from different government agencies, the United States and such, to say, hey, you have to have anti-money laundering, AML, and KYC, Know Your Customer rules in place. You have to have compliance officers for this. You have to have lawyers for this. You have to have all this stuff for KYC, AML. And the thing we've been screaming since day one, the issue with KYC, AML, is that it centralizes all your data, especially if you're using a third party. The third parties are the ones who continuously either are getting hacked or they're either selling the data themselves to make money. Regardless, the whole scheme behind KYC AML is in nature. It centralizes data in a nature where they can be hacked. It becomes a honeypot for hackers to go after. We've seen this time and time again. So even if this is true, it really sucks for Binance because it's like, hey, I mean, we damned if we do, we damned if we don't. We don't do it, then the government is going to say we're criminals and throw us in the same boat as murderers and rapists because we don't want to collect your personal data. But we do collect it, or we have a third party collect it because we don't have the infrastructure to collect it ourselves, nor do they probably want to collect and hold on to that type of data. You hire a third party, but regardless, if anybody collects it, now we have this big pot of data that we have to trust other humans to either not sell to other people if they see the money involved in it, or we have the trust for humans to have the cybersecurity built around it so that it won't get hacked. And we all know if you have a pot of anything valuable, the chances of it getting hacked on the internet at this point are very high. The hackers are beating the good guys right now for whatever reason. So again, it sucks for Binance. And while they're still checking the validity of it, I mean, 10,000 leaked documents, people's ID on it, and they're asking for 300 Bitcoin. It would take, I mean, again, we've seen it in the space, but it would take the scammer a lot of gumption to go to Binance asking for 300 Bitcoin without having any valid photos of leaked data. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say out of 10,000 photos that bear similarity to Binance data, I'm sure some of them probably are. Now, if they hack the third party, what Binance could be saying, I get it. They could be saying, hey, maybe some of those third party photos are the same photos that was, because you remember, you're talking about IDs. People use these IDs to sign up for many exchanges. So if the same third party, know your customer, is working for 3 or 4 different exchanges, then yes, maybe that same photo is on our exchange database. Maybe it isn't, So I get what they're saying. They're trying to sift through which photos could be linked to a Binance account. But again, if you got 10,000 of them, I'm sure a few do. I wouldn't be surprised if Binance comes out and say, hey, maybe some of this is ours, maybe not, whatever. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't blame them for it because this is one of those government inventions. Because when Binance first came out, like many exchanges, they weren't asking for know your customer AML data. They weren't asking for your ID and all this other stuff. So, if you snuck in, you're pretty good unless you're a high value account. They probably later came back and emailed you personally and was like, hey, we still need your data. But I don't blame them. It sucks that this is true. And if anything, I actually blame the regulators because they're causing these companies to start to store this data where they initially didn't want to store it. They know, CZ has been in the tech world. He knows the issue with storing data like this. So it's crazy to see, but of course we'll stay on it and hopefully people did not get hacked. Let's go to this chat cam. What's going on? Malik Howard, Sergeant Crypto, P-Man Van, Allison Thompson, Tony Nolly, Panji Smoke, Torrance J Playlist, Mel Gibson Sr. Torrance J Playlist said we need Bitcoin dominance at about 80%. Give it some time. Give it some time. Fred Kamen, what's going on? Ramo Jones, long time no see. Will said Binance is trying to get us on their side, right? They're in front of it. But look, I can agree with that. This is what I always say is it's better for them to at least make a statement than not to say anything, because usually what happens is these companies won't say anything. They might say we're under maintenance or we're checking out an internal issue and we'll let you know in a couple of days. But usually they keep us in the dark. CZ has been doing a very good job of saying, hey, we're owning things that happen. You remember when they got hacked, they owned it. This is happening, they're owning it. So at the end of the day, I'll continue to trust them at the very least, because they're owning this and they're going about it the right way. Sergeant Crypto said, why would anyone do KYC with Binance? You can withdraw 2 full Bitcoin worth of crypto. That's what people get for being greedy. True. I get it, but it's also one of those things where, if you're trading $250,000 plus on there, that might not be enough. If you got 300,000 or 400,000 you're actually actively trading with, then yeah, I can get for some of those. I understand that for some of those people who might need a little bit more than 2 Bitcoin to withdraw. And then they also, again, we talked about this with Bittrex. Some of these companies change their terms of services when the price goes up. Bittrex literally did that. Once Bitcoin boosted up to that 14,000+, they went from you can withdraw 2 Bitcoin a day, which at the time was that 14,000 price, to 0.02 or 0.2, something ridiculous. And a lot of people we lost money on that one. So they can change those terms of service overnight. So you got to make sure you pay attention to that. What's going on, Phyllis Bond? Hello. Torrance J Playlist said could be somebody on the inside. I think it's somebody on the inside to know your customer company, the KYC company. Again, makes perfect sense. It could be anybody who has access to their computer, who see all the data and who aren't stupid. I mean, it's almost like if you work at one of these rental car places. That's crazy. You work at, I used to manage like a Hertz or something back in the day. You have all this credit card information come in, all these ID information come in, and it's literally left up to the people working there not to steal it. I mean, you are trusting other humans not to just steal it all at one time. So same thing with know your customer. Imagine how much data comes through there. You're talking about a guy who might be a lowly whatever, a guy or girl might be a lowly at a position or even an executive position who has access to all this information. And they're like, hey, 300 Bitcoin can set me up pretty well right now. And if the price keeps going to where it's going, I don't have to work again. So, I mean, this is the problem with AML KYC. It's supposed to be to stop this money laundering and terrorism that doesn't even exist in this space. That's what it's for. But instead, it's becoming honeypots to get hacked that we've seen time and time again. So P-Man Van said the government are the only ones allowed to launder money. You know it, them and banks. What's going on? Alec G said Sergeant Crypto said, I think KYC is mandatory for fiat to crypto transactions. Right. That's where the regulators step in at. Anything involving fiat, they said that they want their piece and they want that KYC AML on it. So, Will says so much of our information is out there. I mean, you talk about these type of hacks, Capital One, Equifax, information is on the dark web. People, make sure you got a credit monitoring service. This is happening. All right, though. Captain James T. Crypto sell the Amazon blockchain. Say I clicked. I still would have clicked for the big homie king, though. There we go. Ocon MX22 was going on. What's going on, Richard? Captain James T. Crypto, good point. Captain James T. Crypto said, is Binance leaking this to the SEC themselves? I hope not. I don't even want to have those thoughts. I'm going to ignore that statement and hopefully not. But I like how some of the comments on the article, somebody said FUD. I would just call it a leak or just hard facts if it's real. Exactly. They're calling it FUD right now, but this might be real. After all, it's still disturbing that so many IDs have appeared online. Yeah, right. Like he would tell us what hackers gain. They'll lose credibility if they disclose anything. So everybody's basically saying that they think this is real in the comment section. As somebody on our channel just said, was it hacked or did he sell the info himself? It's unfortunate we have to have these thoughts, but this is crypto. I don't think he sold it himself because, he might be working with the government, but I don't think he sells it because Binance makes enough money where they don't need to pull those type of tricks. But again, people, we have to keep watching it. It's crazy to see that. China, police investigating EtherDelta over alleged exit scam. This was another crazy story that came in today. I mean, today is a day of exchanges going crazy, but it looks like the Chinese police are reportedly taking legal action against the non-custodial token trading platform EtherDelta in connection with the apparent exit scam. The news was reported today, August 7th, in a series of tweets published by Dovey Wan, founding partner at blockchain-focused investment firm Primitive Ventures. It looks like Wan's tweets indicate that the alleged exit scam involved the sale of native exchange asset EtherDelta tokens following the acquisition of the exchange by unnamed Chinese investors. It looks like, quote, the actual beneficiaries of EtherDelta are all Chinese at their ownership transition in 2017. Basically, the founder, Zach Coburn, sold EtherDelta to a group of Chinese who later issued the exchange token EDT and turned out to be an exit scam. Now, furious investors at EDT whistleblow to local police. The case was recently taken into an official investigation process. He also added in that tweet, quote here, FYI, Chinese police shows no mercy if any crypto scam involved large amount of retail capital. So I'm not sure if that's a good thing. And he means that if a scam that took a lot of retail money, your mom and pops, the Chinese would, vigorously go after these people, or does he mean no mercy as in we told you not to invest anyway, mom and pops, you lost your money. So I'm not sure which way. It looks like if it made this type of article, the police would be going after them. But if you remember, EtherDelta actually had a run-in with the SEC already. Their former owner, Zach Coburn, as we just talked about, he faced legal difficulties in 2018. So this was actually after he sold the exchange, he faced difficulties from the SEC, which I'm sure they're like, wait, you just had an exchange and you sold it to Chinese investors, and we didn't get our cut, oh, we're gonna go back to 2017 and get this money. So yeah, after he sold the exchange, almost a year later, the SEC went after him and charged him with operating an unlicensed securities exchange. People, there you have it. I mean, again, if you have an exchange that is not making any money, you're not doing anything wrong. You remember, you're just king selling marbles. But all of a sudden, if your marbles turn out to be worth millions of dollars overnight, oh, now you're operating an unlicensed exchange. Now you got some money licensing problems, banking licensing problems. Oh, you didn't pay me, the special investigator. Now we're coming after you, right? So a year later, they came after him for operating this unregistered securities exchange. Coburn neither admitted nor denied the findings. Whenever you see this too, this happened in California a few times. Whenever people are neither admitting nor denying the findings, that basically means they're being extorted, as I'm sure Zach was here. He was being extorted by the SEC because while he neither admitted nor denied the findings, he consented to cooperate and to pay the state $300,000 in unlawful profits. Also agreed to pay $13,000 in prejudgment interest and a $75,000 penalty for a total of $378,000 total. Pardon me. So yeah, $378,000 total for fines. Of course, if you know me, I wish we had this all on Bitcoin and blockchain, because the thing I want to know is, where did that money go that went to the government? You just got $378,000 from someone who said they weren't guilty or not. Where did that money go to? Who does that money go to? Is that fixing roads and helping school teachers out there, the firemen, the police department? I don't think so. This is what I call a government shakedown. Again, this is a year later after he sold his company. The government realized they never got paid on anything, and they just shook him down for $378,000. And I'm bet about Zach Coburn. I'm sure he was either faced with that or the penalty of going to jail for 5 or 7 years to sit next to a rapist or a murderer who's actually committing real crime. And he was just like, look, man, just take the money. I know the game. I don't have time. Take the money. So it's crazy to see this, but he got shaken down when he sold the company. And then it looks like the Chinese investors who bought it created a fake token, which we have warned people about time and time again, which is the why when we see these tokens pop up, we say, why not just use Bitcoin? In this instance, a fake token was created and possibly sold for an exit scam. So it's being investigated. Hopefully you weren't using EtherDelta because they've had problems in the past, but still a story you want to pay attention to because this is still happening in cryptocurrency on a daily basis. So crazy. What's going on, Fool with Money, Mr. 2 Real, Edwin IT, RS. Yes, Binance. I don't think Binance is messing up. We think the third party is. All right. Coinbase. Remember this story? Judge rules Coinbase did not commit fraud in Bitcoin Cash lawsuit. This one actually caught me off guard. I didn't think Coinbase was going to be able to skate out of it. That was until I saw where the proceedings took place. But cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase did not act fraudulently during its botch. They're calling it a botch launch of Bitcoin Cash. A United States judge has ruled. If you remember, Coinbase was accused of insider trading when Bitcoin Cash launched because the exchange froze for a few minutes, causing the price of Bitcoin Cash at the time, which was at their all-time high, to drastically drop and people not be able to buy or sell as they want and please. Of course, everyone in the space knew that while no one else could do any orders on Bitcoin Cash when it was launched on Coinbase, Coinbase was actually able to make some orders and make money for themselves. But it looks like in a court order issued on August 6th, U.S. District Judge Vince Chabria of the Northern District of California, so San Francisco, basically where Coinbase is housed at, threw out claims by traders that Coinbase committed fraud by halting trading after 2 minutes. It looks like at the time, Bitcoin Cash was only 4 months old, still being added to major exchanges. Coinbase initially added the altcoin to its platform, but doing so produced a spike in its price, with a subsequent decision to close trading left users unable to sell at higher prices. Following the debacle, Coinbase was widely accused of insider trading, with executives allegedly manipulating markets by buying up Bitcoin Cash based on prior knowledge of the plans. The plaintiffs identified 3 potential laws for the unlawful prong: the Commodities Exchange Act, the FinCEN rules, and the New York state regulations. Chabria summarized even assuming Bitcoin Cash is a commodity subject to the Commodities Exchange Act. The complaint does not sufficiently explain how the launch manipulated the market for Bitcoin Cash or for Bitcoin, nor does it plausibly or coherently describe Coinbase and Armstrong's motive to manipulate the prices. Now, to be fair and totally unbiased, the judge here may have a strong point in this argument, which could be saying, hey, the plaintiffs, you guys didn't give me a solid reason of how this manipulation worked. You can't just say they paused trading and I'm supposed to figure out the rest, that, hey, this is a way to manipulate prices. So I kind of do get the judge on that. That kind of goes along with the story yesterday. The judge said they weren't deciding either way when it comes to JP Morgan and plaintiffs with the credit cards, cash, credit cards and cryptocurrency be considered a cash advance. But they did say the plaintiffs gave a reasonable explanation of why this could be to make the trial move forward. This judge in this case is saying, hey, you guys aren't giving me like a reasonable amount of evidence to work with to make this go forward. But at the same time, this is a San Francisco judge. This is Coinbase, who's based out of San Francisco. This would be the same thing as hoping to get JP Morgan to go to trial or get a court win over JP Morgan in New York. Now, we saw it kind of happen yesterday, but we celebrate that story because of the rarity of it. It doesn't happen, right? Not saying these judges are biased or crooked in any way, but just saying it doesn't happen there in New York, right, when it comes to banks. So it's kind of the same thing. You're talking about San Francisco and a tech company. It takes a lot for a judge to rule against them, is all I'm going to say. So no surprise here that it did not happen, but kind of a surprise that it did not happen because you talk about insider trading. I mean, Roger Ver came on the news the day after this. It was like a day or two after this and said insider trading is not illegal. Basically saying that if he and Coinbase did engage in insider trading at the time when it comes to cryptocurrency, it wasn't legal. So all I'm saying is for the guy who owns Bitcoin Cash, for him to come on the news or to make a tweet a couple of days later after this, basically saying insider trading wasn't even illegal. I mean, you just kind of just told us you did it, right? So whatever. The judge said that they don't agree with it. Again, I do understand why, because it's one of those things that's difficult to explain. But if you're a trader, you do understand how Coinbase at the time, being one of the largest exchanges and listing coins, which we know will have a quick pump for them to stop trading on it, that does cause manipulation to the market, especially when they themselves, their executives and all their team members traded on and made money. So again, this is why you can't keep your money on exchanges, people. It's a dangerous thing to do. They have all the power over it. And again, that's them just freezing your accounts. They could also just disappear tomorrow and it'll be nothing you can do and no recourse as well. So again, this motion to dismiss the fraud claims has been granted. So I think this is a thing of the past. It's unfortunate. In my opinion, I think there was market manipulation. I mean, it was clear as day. And again, Roger Ver came out a couple of days later and even said it's not illegal. But it looks like the judge disagrees. But the Commodores agree as well. Commodores are saying, they're no longer trustworthy. Of course they did not. Coinbase is like the friggin' Federal Reserve. I totally trust them now with my money. So again, what a total waste of time for the federal court. People kind of already know what happened, and I think the industry knows not only what happened, but we didn't expect a win from this case, nor did we get it. So it's unfortunate, but hey, that's a part of the game. You know how the crypto is. Captain T. James said, oh, he's talking about Bitcoin as Mike Jones reference. Back then, they didn't want me Bitcoin hot. Now they all on me. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. They were laughing at us and calling us fake, and now we need government approval for everything we do. It's crazy, right? Fool with Money said low liquidity exchanges are going to go out of business. I'm assuming you're talking about EtherDelta. You know what? Who knows? Because to me, low liquidity exchanges are almost like what is it? Some of these gyms and workout proteins and shakes and all that. I mean, it's a new one that pops up every day, right? It's a new workout plan. It's a new shake. It's a new gym. It's a new something. I think these exchanges are the same way, the smaller ones. I mean, as long as you have $5 to $10 million, if you have an additional $5 to $10 million to spend, you're going to come up with an exchange. If you're in this space, you're going to throw your name up on the wall because I think this is almost like, to some people in the tech world, it's almost like owning a good piece of artwork or a sports team. It's like, yeah, I got an exchange too. Like, I'm making some money off an exchange, It's just one of those things to have. So I think low liquidity exchanges will continue only because, as your name say, fools with money will want to actually buy the exchange and hopefully you try to strike rich that way. So we'll see. Sergeant Crypto, hilarious. Sergeant Crypto said, let's see if I can bring this comment up. They paid the judge in Bcash. That's hilarious. Edwin IT said, come on, King. Coinbase in bed with, quote, Big Brother. No, they're going to get out a lot. Yeah, of course. We know what's up. Whales playing in the water, Mr. Too Real said. Fool of Money said Bitcoin Cash pumped to 9K on Coinbase when it came out. Oh, you know they weren't letting those sell. I didn't know that. I didn't know they pumped that high. Bitcoin Cash pumped to $9,000 when it came out. You got to remember, people, this is a $200, $300, $400 coin. If it pumped to $9,000, then yes, I could see Brian Armstrong pushing the red button like, stop all trading now. I don't care what happens next. We are not going to let people sell this at 9K. That's not happening. And what's crazy about that is like they're literally penny pinching all these exchanges. It's like you guys are making a ton of money. Just do the right thing and people will actually like you more and continue to do business with your exchange. But instead they want to nickel and dime everything. Mr. Too Real said, just like gamblers seeing Vegas as at work during a game, everyone is clueless. Exactly. Everyone's just looking at it. So very interesting to see. All right, now to some good news stories. Amazon wants to build a blockchain for ads. A new job listing shows. And before you even have to go look too far forward, I clicked on a link. Boom, it's right here on LinkedIn. Software development engineer, advertising, and blockchain. This is for Amazon in Boulder, Colorado. I mean, this is on LinkedIn, people. This is happening. It looks like I have one connection there already. So only 25 people have applied. I'm about to hit up my connection and get the inside track on what's going on. But it looks like Amazon advertising. Yeah, I mean, this is a real position there. Amazon's looking to hire a software development engineer to develop an advertisement blockchain. They posted that job offer on LinkedIn for a software development engineer for its Colorado Boulder team, as we saw, who is supposed to work on an advertisement blockchain. The online retail behemoth aims to grow its advertisement business by leveraging its online retail data, industry-leading cloud services, and a fast-moving startup culture. The post declares, our new team in Boulder, Colorado is looking for a senior software engineer to work within our advertising fintech team, focused on a blockchain ledger, billing, and reconciliation systems to provide data transparency on transnational financial data. One thing we always say here is that if it's in the news, you're already too late. If you notice, while they're hiring a senior software engineer, is to work within their fintech team, focus on a blockchain ledger, which means their fintech team has already been established. They've already been working together. They already have the project. Clearly, they already have the project. They probably already have a storyboard, an outline. They might even have some prototypes going. Now they need that senior software engineer to come in and actually do the job, or at least oversee the job the appropriate way to make sure this project is executed and completed appropriately. But as far as having everything set up, it's there in place. The structure is there. They literally just need the magician to come in and do the final trick, or the chef to come in and, to fix up the final piece of the meal. But I mean, this thing is in play. So this is one of the things we always talk about. Amazon has been quiet on the blockchain, fintech, anything cryptocurrency related front. We know they've been quiet on it, but clearly they've been working on these things behind the scenes. And if you're talking about billing and data transparency systems, you better believe you're talking about cryptocurrency as well. I mean, you're talking about the financial part, billing, when it comes to blockchain. What coin are they going to use? Are they going to use Bitcoin? Are they going to use JP Morgan coin? No, they have the works they have the plans in the works at this point, people. I think this is great to see that Amazon's hopping on the blockchain thing. I mean, they're using words like blockchain and fintech in official correspondence. They're working, people. So I think this is really cool to see. They said this is the chosen engineer's role will consist of requirements of analysis, lead design, as I just said, basically they want to oversee everything, implementation and deployment of core components, interfacing with engineers and program managers. The position will also be responsible for the operational support and maintenance of the system. So again, they also say furthermore, the engineer will also have an opportunity to define the technical an architectural roadmap for the systems. Again, I didn't even read this part of the article, people. I just know how the business side of this thing works. The company noted that it prefers candidates with experience in the advertisement, financial technology, and blockchain. All right, that's again one of those things. You want someone in advertisement, financial technology, and blockchain who's a senior software engineer. Where are you guys finding these unicorns from? That's like Hollywood. It's sometimes they have these postings for gigs. It's like, we want a real astronaut that's been in outer space, who knows how to surf, who has long hair that's in cornrows. Oh yeah, and the role pays $500. It's like, what? Where do you think you're gonna find these people from? Like a real astronaut? But this is the same thing. To find a professional who is already at a mid to senior level professional in the advertisement industry, in the financial technology industry, and the blockchain industry. Oh, and by the way, is a software engineer. I mean, this is Amazon. They're paying a lot. I'm sure they can find people. I mean, myself, I can bounce around in a couple of those bailiwicks, so I know there's someone else out there who's an expert in all 3 or 4 of them. But I mean, few and far between people. Like, as we just saw here, only 25 people be among the first 25. So we don't even have 25 people that applied to this job for Amazon. That tells you how small of a talent pool it is. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of. You have to be competent in many things for this type of job. So not only that, like I said, the main role for this person, and the reason why they probably want a senior software engineer, the main role, they've already built something. Just know that they have a prototype, right? They've had people working. As they said, they have a fintech team. They want somebody to come in to be able to look at the code, or at least look at the technical side of things and understand and say yay or nay, and then project a roadmap out going forward. Again, a way to execute the rest of the project. So I'm assuming this job is probably going to be paying a lot of money. But again, the positive thing of all this is that this is a big base hit for cryptocurrency, blockchain, and fintech space. Now we have Amazon officially on board, officially hiring people, and this is year 1 of their project. So let's see what happens in 2 more years. Let's see how the hiring increases and what Amazon has planned as well. But again, if you have some of those skills I just listed, go ahead and check it out. It is on LinkedIn right now. Again, I just clicked this link before I started, people. So less than 25 people have applied. Your application can be seen right now if you're in that mix. So something to take a look at. Captain James T. Crypto said real developers want to work on Bitcoin, not Amazon. That is true. For a lot of people who don't know, that's actually a lot of the beef with Bitcoin when it comes to all these other projects. There's a lot of developers who are upset that they haven't been. Anyone can work on a Bitcoin project. So let me actually rephrase that. Anybody can work on it. But when you submit your Bitcoin improvements, BIPs, of course, all those submissions aren't taken into consideration. So a lot of developers can't work on the big. I don't think people understand that. Like, you can go to GitHub and see there's a lot of developers working on it, but there is a lot of developers who cannot work on Bitcoin because they're not at that level as a coder or developer. But Captain James C. Crypto is right. Like, a lot of the real devs, their goal, their Super Bowl is to be able to work on the Bitcoin project, to submit improvements and actually have them accepted for the Bitcoin project, not to work at some of these other places. But I'm telling you now, this is actually going to be the future of it, because, you know, once all these institutions come in heavy, once Amazon, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, once they start advertising, hey, this position starts off at 350K plus bonuses in stock. Hey, this position starts off at 4, because the numbers are going to get that high. I mean, you just saw the skills you need. Like, people, not a lot of people have an advertising background, financial technology background, a blockchain and crypto background. Oh, and you need to know how to code. Like, those jobs are going to start at 300 to 400K easy. Like, those are 4 different career fields, right? You have to pay that much to get that level of traction. So I think we'll see more of that as these institutions grow, as the space grow. Don't be surprised next year if you see JP Morgan offering $500,000 for some of their blockchain and fintech positions. I mean, the money actually does align to the skills necessary. So P-Man Van said all these corporations are trying to launch their own money so they can control everything about it. That is why they don't want to use Bitcoin. Of course. Yep, control is the name of the game. Yes, smash that like button. Smash that like and share button. Thank you, S1 Dubs. Harold George said these corporate coins will be interesting to look at. as a currency / trade war between China and the U.S. heats up. I see a bunch of folks getting into this. I do too. Stephanie Mathau, I think I pronounced your last name, said hello from Miami. Thanks for educating us. Thanks for watching and thanks for joining. First time I seen that name. S1 Dove said there are also a lot of devs who want that bag. That's what I'm saying, people. There's two sides. There's a lot of developers who are already very wealthy but working on this space so early, right? But there's also a lot of developers who've been working in this space a long time and haven't received their just dues. I mean, they're the guy who's been in their professional sport for 10, 12 years. They still haven't got that big contract yet, right? So I think we will see some of them jump ship. I mean, this Amazon job, Amazon is basically telling you, just come. We already have a hand-selected team for you. We already have the mission. We already have the project. We just need somebody to come train everybody and look over this entire project. So for a senior software engineer, you know, maybe you got a family, you got a few kids, you've been at this engineering thing for a while, you're making some decent money, but hey, I mean, it's no Amazon money. I can see them taking that jump. And again, at the end of the day, it's a big base hit. Let's get Amazon up and moving. Let's have Amazon marketing team and PR team start saying blockchain and fintech and all their correspondence so that all these Amazon customers worldwide have to start seeing this verbiage and start understanding it. Like, well, what is blockchain? What is crypto? What is fintech? What is this? The more they see it, the more people will come along. So I'm actually all for this. Full of Money said companies are paying 6 figures for blockchain engineers and architects. I'm telling you, people, like the minimum pay is already at like 150, 180 minimum. So you talk about Amazon with a senior position like this that has 4 different career path skills attached to it. Again, I would be like, hey, I will come in and do this for 320, 350K. I think that's a fair number there. All right, last but not least, another great news story to end it on. Canadian Bitcoin educator outwits scammer, donates money to charity. I actually saw this on Twitter yesterday. This is hilarious. A Canadian Bitcoin educator has scammed a crypto scammer and subsequently donated the money to charity. There we go. I love the way they actually did this too. Again, this is a great news story. The next time you're being scammed, you should try to do this as well. Let's go ahead and get some free money off the scammers. But as the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation reported on August 7th, Ben Perrin, a YouTuber who runs an education channel about cryptocurrencies and a marketing director at a Bitcoin exchange, received a scam message offering an investment scheme that would supposedly double his Bitcoin investment every 24 hours. Sounds like BitConnect. Perrin told CBC News, quote, I've come across a lot of these people before. They make ridiculous claims. In this case, every 24 hours. They guaranteed me a doubling of my Bitcoin and said that if I would just send them some Bitcoin, I could start seeing returns. It's crazy, but these scams are still going on. People, you remember, no one's going to give you a lot of free Bitcoin. I know we give Bitcoin out bits and pieces every day, but no one's giving you like a full Bitcoin or something. And also, there is no Bitcoin, no investment out there, Bitcoin related or into the traditional space, can they guarantee a return, okay? Unless this market is fixed. No one can guarantee your return, especially doubling your money every 24 hours, or in some of the cases we saw a year or so ago, people saying they can get their money doubled in a month or 2 months. It's just not going to happen. But Perrin decided to outfox the swindler by pretending to be a newcomer to Bitcoin. He told them that he would gladly invest $20,000 with them if they would simply send him $100 back. He could return it to them to ensure everything was legit. It looks like the result had the scammer send $50 to Perrin, which the YouTuber further transferred to a philanthropic organization that helped people in Venezuela purchase food with digital currency. All right, now, Ben, just to let you know, we're sanctioned in Venezuela right now, so to the United States, you are now an international criminal. But, I mean, this is a great news story. He basically played the scammer, told him he would send him $20,000. As long as they sent him some money, they sent him $50, and he sent that off to charity. So I love seeing this thing. This is pretty funny because, again, these scammers are still everywhere. The next time I get an email, I think I might try the same thing, be like, hey, I got $10,000 I've been wanting to invest in some crypto. I don't know where to go. But to make sure this is legitimate, please send me $100 back. And I don't know if I'll donate it to charity, but I would definitely buy some groceries, get some juices in here with that. But that was hilarious. I love seeing that story. So it's definitely a good one to see. What's going on, Madam Crypto? Hello, hello. Captain James T. Crypto, going to a couple of comments before we end this today. Captain James T. Crypto said, Amazon will hire you. They don't hate you. Oh, they don't hate. If you can dev, they will hire you. They have the budget. Okay, there you go. So if you're a good dev, Amazon will hire you. The one thing I will say about Amazon, people, I know it's been swept under the rug. A lot of people try to figure out how to get these low prices. I heard the Amazon warehouses, and I've heard this from people who work at Amazon, like some of the executives. It was like for a career fair for military officers I went to before. But they basically was like, yes, our warehouses and the way we work at Amazon is dog eat dog. We want you to come in. We don't want you to be friends with everybody. We want you to get these, like, to hit their numbers and stuff. So Amazon is a very competitive workplace. They reward people in that competitiveness. So for a developer who actually knows what they're doing, I could see that being like almost a dream come true. Like, all I gotta do is beat these other people. And like, oh, I got this. Like, this is what I do professionally. So Amazon, again, I've heard it's a stressful place to work, but it's also, you know, if you like a lot of competition, you like to be a hard charger, like that's also the place to go as well. I mean, because at the end of the day, people, Amazon's still a tech company. And while it's not technically like a startup anymore, it's still, I mean, how long is Amazon? Maybe 20 years tops or something? Like, still a lot of room for growth there. And we see that every day. You know, they're talking about getting drones and all that good stuff. It's a good place to be if you're trying to climb the corporate ladder. Let's see. Edwin IT said, yeah, it was, quote, Bitcoin sessions, long-winded text, but he got them. Can't believe I read it all. Hilarious. Yeah, that was a lot for $50, but why not? Scammer, right? Right, that's right. Everybody send me 5 Bitcoin, and I'm going to make sure I'll send you 10 back. I'm joking, people. Yep, Fool Money said these type of scams will be everywhere during a proper bull run. Yeah, once the bull run starts back, I mean, we haven't even seen scams again. Like 2017, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I got hit with a couple here and there. I got localbitcoins.com. People were hacking other people's accounts and using them to do 1 or 2 big trades with. So there was accounts on localbitcoins.com. You know, you rate people like on eBay who had like a 99.8% rating, over 3,000 transactions. I did business with a couple of them. It was after the account got hacked, and I mean, literally just got scammed out of money that quick. It happened. So yeah, during the bull runs, they're everywhere. That's when Doug said, I've heard repeatedly that Amazon does not have a great work environment. The warehouse will be staffed with robots before long. Right. So you know what I'm talking about. For anybody who's heard, yeah, the work environment, from what I hear, basically is like a punch short of like an MMA fight in there. I've heard, like, again, these are executives who tell me this from Amazon. They're like, yeah, we want you to go in there, which is why they were recruiting military officers. They was like, because they came to us like, hey, you guys are going to love this. Like, if you already been working with teams in the military and you had to go in on them sometimes, oh boy, do we got the operation for you. They was like, you can come to this warehouse, hey, carte blanche, do what you need to do, just make sure those numbers get hit. If people quit or you fire them, so what? Keep it pushing. We'll get this money. So I've heard the same thing from Amazon. Again, I'm not one to really like those environments, but I do know a lot of people who love and flourish in those environments. So if that's for you, take a look at Amazon. Navy subs, nice. I was a public affairs officer in the Navy, full of money. I actually worked at a submarine base, so shout out to Point Loma. What's going on, Alec G? Alec G said long episode. Listen, if I got time, man, I'll talk crypto all day, Alec. You know what's up. P-Man Van, last comment, said, I got screwed with BitConnect, so I guess I can't say too much. Listen, we've all have learned our lesson in dollars when it comes to this crypto market. It hasn't been fair to anyone. It's been a learning experience, so it happens. But yeah, for the free cryptic coin today, in the comment section after the video, go ahead and tell me the worst way you've been scammed out of crypto. Looks like the scams are on the rise, so let's make sure everybody knows about the different ones and how they happen. Leave that in the comment section. Make sure we get that free cryptic coin to you. Other than that, that is the show for today. Make sure you smash that like and share button, and I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers.